Chris. At present, you're doing a little too much. Yeah, sorry about that. The director peered at his watch and rubbed the red indentations left by his baseball cap. Because it's getting on for 2:30 and... what's your name again? Stephen McQueen, with a PH. No relation? No relation. Well, Stephen with a PH. It's getting on for 2:30 and we haven't even started on the autopsy. Yes, of course. It's just, with the lights and nerves and everything, it's not as if you have to perform. All you have to do is bloody lie there. I realise that, Chris. It's tricky, not to visibly breathe for that long. No one's asking you not to breathe. No, I realise that, said Stephen, contriving a chummy laugh. Just don't lie there taking bloody great gulps like you've just run the 200 metres, OK? OK. And don't grimace. Just give me something neutral. OK, neutral. But apart from that, you're doing terrific work, really. And do you think we'll be done by 6? It's just, I've got to be... Well, that's up to you, isn't it, Steve? Said the director, resettling the cap, stalking back to his canvas chair. Oh, and Steve, he shouted across the set, please don't hold your belly in. You're meant to be bloated. Bloated. OK, bloated. Right places, everyone, shouted the first AD, and Stephen settled once again on his marble slab, adjusted the damp underwear, closed his eyes, and did his best to pretend to be dead. The secret of truly great screen acting is to do as little as possible, and this is never more important than when playing an inanimate object. In a professional career lasting 11 years, Stephen C McQueen had played 6 corpses now, each of them carefully thought through and subtly delineated, each of them skillfully conveying the pathos of being other than alive. Keen not to get typecast, he had downplayed this on his CV, allocating the various corpses intriguing, charismatic leading man names like Max or Oliver, rather than the more accurate, less evocative Body or Victim. But word had obviously got round the industry. No one did nothing at all, quite like Stephen C McQueen. If you wanted someone to be pulled from the Grand Union Canal at dawn, or lie slack, broken, and uncomplaining across the bonnet of a car, or slump prone at the bottom of a muddy First World War trench, then this was the man. His very first job after leaving drama school had been Rent Boy 2 in Vice City, a hard-hitting post-watershed crime show. One line. Rent Boy 2, Geordie accent. Why, aye, you're looking for a good time, mister. Then a long, hot summer afternoon spent with his arm dangling out of a black bin liner. Of course, at 32, his Rent Boy days were some way behind him now. But Stephen C McQueen could still usually pass muster, as most other remained. But for some reason, today his technique was letting him down. This was a shame, because Summers and Snow was a TV institution, and in a few months upwards of 9 million people would settle down in front of the telly on a Sunday night to see him swiftly strangled, then lying here, inert in a stranger's underwear. You'd be hard-pushed to call it a break as such, but if the director liked what he did, or didn't do, if he got on with his co-stars, they might use him again, to play someone who walked about, moved his face, spoke aloud. First rule of showbiz. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Stay professional, be positive, be committed. Always have a motivation. The trick is to impress. Always ensure that people like you, at least until you're famous enough for it not to matter anymore. Waiting for the next take, Stephen sat up straight on the cold slab and stretched his arms behind his back till he felt his shoulders crack. Important not to stiffen up. Important to keep limber. He glanced round the set in the hope of striking up a conversation with his fellow actors. Craggy, stern, ex-alcoholic loner Detective Inspector Tony Summers, and perky, independent-minded WPC Sally Snow were in a tight little huddle some way off, sipping tea from plastic cups and confidently eating all the best biscuits. Stephen had always nursed a bit of a crush on Abigail Edwards, the actress playing WPC Snow, and had even worked out